What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the stream tonight. This is our Season 2 recruitment race for the brand new MX-5 series with Palmetto Racing League. Season 1 is coming quickly to an end, down to the last several races of a 13 race season, Season 2 is looking to be pretty promising. We're hoping we're going to be adding a truck season that's going to replace our Cup series that's going on right now. So Season 2 will have a truck series and then the brand new MX-5 series, which is what you're seeing here. This is our first recruitment race at Charlotte Roval this evening. Road courses are going to be a bit different. They're not what you're used to seeing with the typical NASCAR races, with everything being a left turn. There's some loops thrown in these races, and they're not really straightforward. Bit of a challenge. Any race is a challenge, but these road courses are something different. The MX-5 series is going to bring a lot of difference to it, with several different aspects. One of the main being that NASCAR Cup Series cars and Truck Series races, cars don't have working lights, so if any night races are going to be ran, they're going to have to be run on tracks with lights. This MX-5 series, these cars have working lights, as you'll see in this race here, and makes it a little bit more competitive in the fact that the tracks won't have to be lit. So might be a little difficult to follow on the broadcast. We don't know how that's going to work yet. We're going to have to wait for the first one and see. This track here at Charlotte Roval does have night lighting, so as you see the sun start to set, it's not really going to make a difference with the condition of the track or visibility. Everything's still pretty well lit. But for other courses like Lime Rock, we got us a crash here up front. Lime Rock doesn't have any lighting, so it'll be a pitch black setting. All you're going to see is tail lights and headlights. We're kind of curious to see how those turn out, but it's looking like, I believe if I saw the schedule correctly, for what they're planning to do with the MX-5 series, it's going to be an 8-week season. So we'll have 8 races, 8 different tracks, all MX-5 series. Should make for some really interesting racing. This recruitment race tonight we had a good bit of actual iRacing members show up. Some of them had to leave early, so some of these cars are still AI, but we did have a little more human interaction turnout in this recruitment race than what we have been having. So we're hoping with Season 2 that running these recruitment races so early that we may gain back some really good interest and feedback and get some actual members in on racing, so that we hopefully have a lot more of an exciting season. We'll have to see as things progress. This was a 30-lap race at Charlotte Roval. We weren't really sure whether we wanted to stick with a 30-lap race or 50, so we went with 30 just for the first race to see, and I think it wound up being just the right amount of laps. I think this configuration at Charlotte Roval is just over a mile. I don't have the exact mileage, but I want to say it's just over a mile, so it took, for 30 laps, took right at about I think it was right close to an hour. Really interesting setup, though. Lots of different twists and turns. We saw some rather serious crashes. A couple of wheels being lost in the action. A little bit of crashed and hit a wall there. It was 62, looks like. That's not going to buff out very easy. Oh yeah, I know he is not going to run the race like that. Yes, he is. Cause another accident. AI gets a little crazy out there on the track. It's frustrating at times. think a race is going really well and just smashed into a wall out of nowhere. It sucks. We thank y'all for joining us again. Saturday, we have 2 races going. We have our league race at, I believe the green flag for broadcasting is going to be around 8 p.m. But we will also have at 3 p.m. a recruitment race running trucks. That's how we're going to gauge our interest for the truck series. The truck race on Saturday will also be live streamed and broadcasted, so we'll have that coverage as well, so you can kind of get a feel just as we are for the truck series. And of course, you can leave us your feedback. The truck series is going to be ran a little different. We did a 13-week series race this season, just to kind of see and gauge the interest of everybody with the cup cars, and that was it's been an exciting season. Still don't quite have the turnout that we were hoping for, but we're getting there. The league's going on 2 months old, so you can't expect too much from it. We're already trying to put plans together for season 2 and make things interesting. The truck season is looking like it's going to be a 25-week season. That could change, but we have seen the plans of tracks, and it's going to get interesting, to say the least. It's not going to be your typical truck races that you think of. You've seen what we've done so far with the Cup Series, and it's been your standard oval tracks, plenty of exciting left turns. The Truck Series is you're going to have some of that oval action, but you're also going to have a mix of some road courses. There were talks thrown around of adding, Sonoma in there. Anybody that's familiar with Sonoma, it was just on NASCAR's live television, last weekend before. Really interesting track. That's talked about being in the Truck Series. Don't know how it's going to fare out, but they're looking at also having some dirt tracks in with the Truck Series. That's going to definitely throw a curveball in there. Those trucks have a lot of power to be on dirt, so drivers are going to have to really mind their gears and be mindful of that throttle as well, because it's really hard to keep traction on dirt tracks as is. You got all that horsepower in there behind them trucks, and there's going to be a lot of wrecks. So we'll see how that goes. It's meant to be fun, though. You just get so caught up in trying to win, and we don't want it all. We want you to win, but have fun with it when you're doing it. You're not going to win every race, and so far we're getting that with the Cup Series. It's been a learning experience watching these guys starting out from the very first race in Darlington to where we're at now, heading to Thompson Speedway. Thompson this weekend, Saturday, for the truck and Cup race with the cars. It's going to be interesting also. It's not your typical setup. These guys have been practicing throughout the week, and we've heard a lot of them say that just the cars are just they got too much power on Thompson. So this weekend, probably not going to see them come out of second, maybe third gear, but they definitely won't be going any higher than third gear. Thompson's just not that big. I want to say it's about 3/4 of a mile, and there's just not a lot of room for you to stretch the legs out on them cars or trucks. The trucks are going to be the same way. You're gonna see that this weekend, Saturday. It's shouldn't be too many people getting left behind or overlapped. it's going to be tough. We've heard a lot of feedback as the week's gone on, and it's going to be up in the air. We got Aaron Vogt with his 2 wins 2 weekends prior to this past weekend, and he didn't finish the way that I don't think that he wanted to in Charlotte. I don't think any of the drivers really did. Charlotte was kind of a curveball for some reason. But you have those days like that. You can't win them all. So, just trying to catch everyone up on what's going on, the current news in the league. I don't really want to take away from too much from the recruitment race. It's other than commenting on what I see going on the track. It's kind of hard to really call or make adjustments on who's leading and taking what position, because it's a recruitment race. So these aren't our normal league drivers. These are random iRacing members who may be possibly interested in joining the league, maybe looking to move into our MX-5 series. A lot of new faces in here. We did have Aaron was in here at one point, and Josh is racing somewhere in here. There he is in the number 2 MX-5 there. Usually, it's not unusual for league members to join recruitment races, kind of gauge the competition, see where everybody stands with it, and of course they're out there supporting PRL, so it's a good way to gauge the competition, but still get some familiarity, because there's nothing set in stone yet as far as the tracks that are going to be used for the MX-5 series, but I am pretty confident that Charlotte Roval is definitely going to be one that's going to be in the season, so you will be seeing this track again most likely once the season kicks off, along with a few others in there. I do think that Lime Rock is going to be another one that will definitely be included in the season lineup. We're on lap 9 of 30. There's nothing quick about these laps on this track. It was, practice out. There was a lot more spills during practice. I did get to watch the practice session live, and that was quite interesting. Cars were getting loose left and right. The AI they are relentless on these tracks. They really will take you out in a heartbeat. They were taking each other out. First 2 laps of practice, they were pitting each other into the wall. I'm surprised we're not really seeing any of that going on right now, because there was a whole bunch of it going on during practice. Bumpers in the road everywhere, tires. We had several tires come off during practice. It should be a pretty interesting series. I'm excited to see where it goes. This league is really, it's come together. I don't think it's not going to be something that takes off overnight, but the interest for it is definitely there. With iRacing, there's a lot of different possibilities. I would not be surprised if ideas were already being tossed around about a Season 3 and potential new series that could come with the Season 3 debut. Season 3 is, if it was being talked about, it's still a ways away, especially if they stick with this 25-week truck series season. That's half a year, so that's a lot of races. See how things progress, though. It's definitely a growing market in the esports, for sure. everything looks so smooth out there on the track. Let's give you a in the car look at what it looks like. I'm gonna mute my mic here for a second, let you get some of the sounds in. Really hope everyone's enjoying the action so far. Looks like the wrecks have kind of phased out. Well, I say that, and then there's smoke on the track. I don't believe that. I don't think that was fresh or not. Kind of hard to tell. I don't think that was fresh. I think that was just kind of residual smoke from someone spinning the tires a little bit. We did there was a modification to the rule set with the debut of this MX-5 series. With the NASCAR Cup, they were running with 100% fuel starting out in the race and unlimited tire changes. With this series, depending on the lap size, if they stick with the 30 laps, for most configurations, they're only going to be allowed 2 tire changes. That's it. 2 tire changes should get you through the race. For the more lengthy races, 50 laps or so, they may move that tire change limit up to 3 sets. But for now, 30 laps, it's going to stay at the 2 set. So they'll be allowed to swap tires twice after that. They'll kind of have to figure out which set of tires they want to run with after they use those 2 brand new sets. Fuel won't change. It'll still stay at 100% for now. That could potentially change once the season kicks off. But during the recruitment races, it'll definitely at max be 3 tire changes. 3 sets of tires is all they'll be allowed. Haven't heard anything on any kind of stipulations on Truck Series yet. I imagine they're going to maybe try to implement something like that. I'll try to see if I can have us some answers by Saturday's race, for sure, the recruitment race, and kind of be able to shed some light on that to see if there's going to be any changes with the nice little spin out there. See if there'll be any changes with the Truck Series. Make things a little more interesting. There were talks of limiting the starting fuel to at least half, maybe less, depending on track size, to kind of force these guys to have to make pit stops, because when you're running on 100% fuel and unlimited tire changes and 30 lap races, you typically, unless you're at a track that has severe wear on the tire like Darlington or one of those smaller tracks that'll really just eat them up, you don't typically have to worry about tire changes for a short race like that, 30 laps, 50 laps. But with these road courses, because they're making a lot more turns and there's a lot more wear going on them tires than your typical cup car race, tire changes and fuel is definitely something you want to look into, so that these guys can start having to implement pitting strategies as part of their strategy of racing. It's not just about the racing at this point. They got to come up with the right time to hit those pits and capitalize or push the limits and see if they can finish a race on the same tank of fuel. Really, that's going to come down to throttle and brake management, but it could create some potential curveballs for the series itself, and make for some really interesting outcomes. They're really pushing to try to make this racing experience, about as real as it can get. There needs to be a challenge. Adds more to that wow factor, keeps things interesting. Nobody wants to see the same winner every race. That would kind of get old. These guys are racing for points and looking to come away with a championship at the end of it, and you throw curveballs in there like that constantly and you make them think. Keeps everybody on their toes, keeps everyone fresh. Everything is it's not just about who's got the fastest car or lap times. Now it's a strategy game. We gotta make sure we play these cards just right, and that's kind of what we're gonna see with the 2-tire limit. You run into the pits and get tires every time, you're gonna eat those 2-tire limits up real quick, and then it becomes crap. Which set of tires has the least amount of wear? Are they gonna hold out for the rest of the race? I want to say, I know we lost some tires in practice. I don't think anyone had a blowout, which was really surprising, because not many of these guys were hitting up the pits in practice. I think they were really just trying to see how far they could stretch it. You figure we're 15 laps in right now, so we're just now hitting the halfway point, and we've already been watching for almost a half hour, so this race went on for almost an hour, or is going to go on for almost an hour. We're at 24 minutes right now. We're just now halfway through. Nice on the turns there. You see, for the most part, there's a pattern here with these guys, and they're all pretty much following that same pattern. They're swinging out wide on these turns and then coming into the apron, coming out wide there, and then you'll see them dip back into that apron on this turn. And that's pretty much how you have to run the whole track. You try to run the inside the whole time, you're going to wind up spinning out, losing control, especially as those tires wear down. The race goes on. Those tires only get slicker. Seems like every time they come out of one of those turns, especially to the open portion of the outside track there, they get closer and closer to that wall. And there's our green for the halfway point. We're going to take a little pause here for a minute and give a shout out to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. All right, thank you again for joining us. We are back live with the action, still on that halfway lap. See, they get closer and closer to that wall. That's what's going to make this series interesting. And then, as I said before, with some of these tracks not having night lighting, it's going to introduce a new challenge that we're not used to seeing. You're going to kind of see it as once season 2 kicks off. There's no word yet on where the next race for the MX-5 series is going to be. I can tell you that this series of recruitment races will be going on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. is we're going to start every race, depending on where you are. We're East Coast, so 7 p.m. you're still going to have a little bit of daylight, but depending on the length of the race, it's going to start getting dark. So some of these other tracks with no night lighting, these guys are going to have to really rely on those headlights, and the visibility, it really shrinks with the tracks. Like I used it as an example earlier, I'll use it again. Lime Rock has no lighting. I've played around with Lime Rock a little bit in the MX-5, and I tested it out on a little night test run at about 1 a.m. in the morning, and I will tell you that visibility is really a challenge on that track when it is pitch black dark out there and all you're relying on is your headlights. It's going to get tricky. The less visibility you have, the less distance in front of you that you can see out to. The lights on those MX-5s are pretty bright, but again, with the road courses having the twists and turns that they do, it's going to get difficult. I feel like Charlotte's Roval track was a really good intro track for this recruitment series, because it's for the most part it's pretty straightforward. It's not like some of these other tracks. You got a few twists and turns here, but for the most part, you got a good, nice little stretch on the outside part of the track that you can open her up a little bit. Some of these other tracks, and with the nighttime factor added and no track lighting, it's gonna get sketchy. These guys are gonna have to be really exercise some caution on the tracks. Look out for each other, and they're going to be fighting against that visibility. So it's going to be interesting to see it progress. So again, not sure on the track for next week, but I can tell you that we will be doing another broadcast next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for this MX-5 series for the next recruitment race. I'm sure once it has been set in stone and locked in that we know what track they're going to be racing at next Wednesday, it will be announced and advertised on Facebook, so and probably even TikTok and YouTube. So if you are already following all of those channels, ooh, look at that wheel, man. That's very similar to what we saw in practice, except wheels were coming all the way off. His is still hanging on there just a little bit, but that is not a good sign. But back to what I was saying, the social media channels, if you have already started following some of those, it'll most likely be put out there for sure, what track will be next Wednesday. But talking about this weekend on Saturday, again, we have our truck race set to go green flag at 3 o'clock, and then the NASCAR Cup race with the Gen 6 cars will be at, I believe it's 9 p.m. I want to say. So definitely got some more action coming your way this weekend on Saturday, and then again on Wednesday. It's been really cool to see. I mean, we were just at Charlotte for the Cup Series race 2 weekends ago, and looking at the track from that, and then seeing this Roval course set up, it's like looking at a totally different track, but it's the same area, just been set up for a road course. That's a really neat thing to see. There's several tracks out there that are like that. They have a little road course built into it. Keeps things interesting. We got 11 laps to go. This has definitely been a lengthy race, and I think that would not be surprised if majority of the MX-5 races are 30 laps. I know one of the big things that was talked about, the practices that have been scheduled with the races for the Cup Series have been about an hour long, and one of the changes that they're looking to make with not only the Truck Series but also the MX-5 Series is shorter practices. You know, these guys, they're practicing usually during the week, throughout the week, preparing for the race. So when ow, I am really shocked that wasn't worse than what it was. Definitely thought that one was gonna flip. Yikes. I'm surprised he didn't lose a wheel there. But back to what I was saying, a lot of the drivers have said that they want practice time shortened, because they spend most of the week practicing and running on their own. So when race day comes, these guys want to get out there and they want to race. They want a little bit of time to practice just to get them back in the field for the track, but they're ready to get out there and get competitive. So that's one thing they're looking at doing with the truck and the MX-5 series is shortening the races. It's still going to keep qualifying at 2 laps, probably with a 10-minute time limit. That may go down to 5. With the MX-5 series, may have to keep that at 10 minutes because I noticed with some of the qualifying earlier today for these guys to get 2 laps in, it was taking them close. I think it was actually over that 5-minute mark. So I don't think that one would be able to get shrunk down to 5 minutes, but definitely shrinking the practices down from an hour to maybe 30 minutes, maybe less. I think if they can get the drivers in agreement on a specific time, that'll most likely be something that gets set in stone. So it doesn't really change anything for the broadcast. It just means the races will get underway quicker, and we'll be able to get all the action out to you guys quicker. But it doesn't really change anything. You guys won't really notice anything behind the scenes. All it really changes is stuff for the drivers, because watching the practices and then moving straight into qualifying and then the race, sometimes that can be a handful. You spend that much time, you kind of get that tunnel vision, and it makes making mistakes a lot easier. So I could see why they would call for that. We are down to less than 10 to go. We're at 8 laps. So we're almost to wrapping this one up. This has been a pretty exciting little series to watch here. Definitely been more wrecks than what we normally see in the Cup Series. We've had quite a few of these guys spill. We had a pretty gnarly one in practice. 2 cars collide and flip several times on the track. They were able to get that cleaned up pretty quick, but it's a wonder we haven't seen similar in this race, because as we mentioned earlier, the AI can get a little hectic out there. You're kind of seeing a little bit of those bright headlights on those cars as the sun has set behind the track, behind the stadium seats there. The track lighting has already come on, and so have the cars. Some bright little headlights on them MX-5s. Riding that apron. Got a little bit of bounce going on in there. I'm excited to see where things go for the league. These guys are looking to push and add things and just make it, overall a better environment. They're wanting to offer more series for everyone to keep up with. Try to mix things up as they go, and keep everyone interested and not running the same series all the time. It may wind up getting to the point where you might get to the point to where they have a series running every day of the week. I don't see that being a possibility in the very near future, but as things progress and membership grows, they're going to need more series active to keep people engaged and have something for everyone to do once the roster starts filling up, especially for the Cup Series. You can only have so many drivers on the track at a time, and some of these bigger leagues that some of you might have seen out there that have been doing this for a little while, it's to the point that some of them have 100 plus members, and races get to the point to where the top 40 qualifying times are able to make it into the race, and everyone else is just out of luck. So we might get to the point to where we have several different league races running throughout the day, so that everyone gets a chance to race in something. Some of these leagues blow up quick, some take a little longer than others. We've got 6 laps to go before the checkered. You got a little loose on the tires there, cutting in turns hard. I think that's the same car that hopped the apron earlier. These recruitment races are always fun to watch. You never know what kind of stuff you're going to see. Everybody wants to get out there and just have fun with it, and championship points aren't at stake, so if mistakes are made, it's not really any harm, any foul. Really, it's just to gauge interest, see who's interested, who might want to join, show everybody what you're made of a little bit, get out there and show off some. Kind of seeing from the view there just about how far those headlights on the MX-5, how far they stretch out. It's kind of hard to tell during this race because of the track lighting, but you're very likely to see it on some of these tracks without lighting. You'll be able to see that visibility a lot better. It doesn't go out that far. These guys, they can pretty much see everything on the track right now with the way the lighting is. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll give you a inside the cab look. The track's pretty well lit. Even if they didn't have their headlights on, they would still have a good view of everything. It's definitely going to throw a challenge in with some of these other tracks, though, that don't have night lighting, and that's kind of what they're going for in the league here, to make it interesting, make it a challenge. Everything's not a straightforward race. There's monkey wrenches thrown in the plan. 5 to go, and we'll be wrapping this one up for the evening. Again, in case you're just coming in on the broadcast, we have 2 races going on this weekend. We have our Truck Series green flag going live at 3, and then we have our Cup Series league race for the championship. Be race number 8 of 13 at Thompson Speedway. Both races will be at Thompson Speedway this weekend, the Truck Series and the Cup race. However, the Cup race is the only one that we are currently tracking points for. These recruitment races are just to gauge interest, but Truck race will be at 3, green flag at 3, and the Cup race will be at 9. close to wrapping this one up. 4 laps to go. You see the number 13 car there. He's been holding steady in that little pack there, that rolling 3 deep. He's not really giving any play too much, and I think we just jumped back to the front of the pack there. I believe that's the is that the number 13? Some of these paint schemes in these cars, they make it a little hard to see who's who. And like I said, with this being a recruitment race, this isn't the typical crowd that we're used to seeing from our Cup Championship. So a lot of different faces in this race, and I want to say at one point during practice, I'm not certain that all 13 stuck around, but we had 13 actual iRacing members in this recruitment race, and like I said, I'm not sure if they stuck around. I know several did. A few had to check out of the race early, so I really think that they were just trying to get a feel for how this series is going to run and how things are going to go, which is really what these races are all about. We want everybody to enjoy watching them just as much as we do, but really it's to gauge interest, kind of also give you guys, the viewers, some insight on what you can look forward to out of these races and what we're hoping that you get from them. It has been mentioned, not sure if it's been put out over social media, but I do know that they have wanted us to mention in the broadcast that all feedback is welcome. These guys, they have a Discord channel. A lot of times, looking at some of the posts from social media, it looks like that the Discord channel is really just for recruitment, trying to get a way to communicate with members of the league. But really, it's for anybody. Anyone can join Discord links to the league. They have a fan section, they have a standing section, so you can keep up with the Cup Championship and see who's in the lead with the standings. At any given time, clips get shared in there. So it's the drivers have their own separate channel in there where they communicate and pass on information, but anyone is welcome in the Discord, and it's a great way too for anybody who's looking to join the league, want to ask questions and get to know things and get answers. You can express your feedback or questions inside the Discord, and these guys will see it directly. And 99% of the time, they're pretty quick responding back to people and getting those questions answered. But that Discord channel is also there for feedback. They want to know your feedback. This league and series, any series that comes out, it's all got to do with feedback from what people want to see. We want you to enjoy the broadcast just as much as we enjoy putting them on, and one of the best ways to do that is by you letting us know what you want to see. What do you want to see come to this league? What you want these guys to race? And we are down to 1 lap to go. Let's see who is leading the pack right now. It is the number 12 car. He is on the white flag. That is a slick looking paint job. And we are about to wrap this one up. And he is taking them turns kind of hard. I see why he's in first place. That guy is getting it. Just before the broadcast ends, we're going to do one last shout out for our sponsors, and we will come back on air briefly just for a minute to put those social media links up so that everyone has a way to keep up with news. And season 2 is developing rapidly. Like I said, there's been ideas tossed around for the last 2 weeks. Really, I've heard a lot of talk of plans and things that they're looking to do with this series and the second season. So I will say that's the checkered flag right there. Number 12 took the victory. The best way to keep up with news from the league and new things that are coming out is their Facebook page, their Discord channel, and of course, watching the broadcast. I will relay the information as it is given to me, but they are constantly putting out events for all of the races coming up. They try not to bombard you with too much, so they usually post what's coming up for that week instead of posting the entire season out there. I'll kind of keep you updated throughout the broadcast with what race number we're on, how many races are left. As I said, the one coming up Saturday at Thompson is going to be race number 8 out of 13. So we're 5 races away from wrapping up the season. And season 2 is it's seeming like it's going to be coming out. Should be starting about 2 weeks after season 1 ends. So season 1 goes to the end of August. So that means that season 2 will be picking up sometime around the second week in September. So that much we do know. But most of the news that you'll want to keep up with will be put on the social media pages, mainly Facebook and TikTok, because the only thing that really goes on to YouTube are these broadcasts and obviously what I put out in the broadcast to let everyone know what's going on, keep everyone up to date. But we're going to go ahead and take that pause real quick and give another shout out to the sponsors, and then be back on briefly with the social media links, and we're going to wrap this thing up. Alright, so for the social media links, you probably saw them right there on the sponsor shout out page. But for YouTube, we're PRL 2025. TikTok, you can find us at Palmetto Racing League 2025. And then our Facebook page is Palmetto Racing League. Like I said earlier, majority of all of the news and information that you're going to want to see is going to be posted to the Facebook page directly. And a lot of it also gets shared on TikTok. YouTube, we kind of stick to mainly using YouTube just for our broadcasts and creating shorts and stuff like that. But we don't really put out information other than what is in the broadcast on YouTube. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you follow our TikTok and our Facebook page, and that should keep you pretty much up to date on all of the happenings and what's going on in the league world of Palmetto Racing League. So I hope everybody has a good evening, and we hope to see you again this Saturday. Thompson Motor Speedway, again, 2 races, Truck Series, and Truck Series going on at 3, and the Cup Series for the Chase to the Championship starting at 9. So y'all enjoy your evening, and hopefully we'll see you on Saturday.